Alright guys, 2015 is just about over, so it's time to start looking ahead to 2016. So today I'm going to list you guys my top 15 most anticipated movies of 2016. I had an extremely hard time trying to narrow these movies down, so I expanded it to 15. We have 8 comic book movies coming out, so there's quite a few of those I gotta get in there. So I decided to expand my list to 15. And I'm sure there's going to be some movies on there that you guys disagree being on my list, or you thought some that should have been on my list. So if there's things like that, jump in the comments below and let me know what those were for you guys. But with that being said, let's jump right in here and let's start at number 15. And at number 15 on my list, I have the Magnificent Seven remake. Over the last few years, I've really gotten into westerns, and we don't get many of them these days. So this past summer, I sat down and watched the original Magnificent Seven and just loved it. I mean, it's just a classic western. It's a classic tale of these 7 misfits, more or less, that just kind of come together for a greater good. And the Magnificent Seven remake is going to star Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington, along with Ethan Hawke. So you've got a great cast already there, making up about half of the 7. And it's being directed by Antoine Fuqua, who directed Southpaw this last summer, which I really enjoyed. I know a lot of people didn't find it great, but I really liked it. And so for those reasons, I'm really excited. It's a modern day western, and it's going to be interesting to see. I think Chris Pratt fits that role really well. And I'm also really curious to see Denzel Washington and how he fits into it all. So at number 15, Magnificent Seven. And moving on to number 14, Midnight Special. This is a movie probably a lot of people haven't even heard of, and I hadn't even heard of it until I had gone and seen, I think it was Spotlight or Bridge of Spies. I don't remember which one, but the trailer played in front of it. And I guess it had gone online like an hour before the movie even started, so I'm not sure how they got in front of that movie. But so Midnight Special is directed by Jeff Nichols, who directed Mud just a couple years ago with Matthew McConaughey and Ty Sheridan, which is one of my favorite movies recently, and probably my favorite coming-of-age story movie, maybe of all time. I just love that movie. So the fact that he's directing Midnight Special is just a reason it's on my list already. The movie stars Michael Shannon, Kirsten Dunst, Adam Driver, for you Star Wars fans, which it seems like just about everyone here is. So it's got a great cast and a great director, and it sounds like an original sci-fi movie where this kid, Michael Shannon's son, it appears, has some sort of powers. I can't really tell what they are to the full extent of what they are, but his eyes kind of glow, and it kind of reminds me of Cyclops, which is kind of ironic because the last movie Jeff Nichols directed starred Ty Sheridan, who's now the young Cyclops in XMen Apocalypse. But so I'm not really sure, so there's a lot of questions still there. So I'm really excited and curious to see that movie. So number 14 is Midnight Special. Number 13, 999. I'd been looking forward to this movie for over a year now. I mean, it was on my IMDb watch list just because of the cast alone with Kate Winslet, Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie, Casey Affleck. I mean, the list goes on and on. And then that first trailer dropped, and it is just a gritty, brutal cop movie where it looks like Anthony Mackie's character is a cop, but he's kind of working for the wrong side with these bank robbers who are trying to pull off this big heist, and their plan is to kill a cop, which is, in police terms, the code is 999, hence the title. And it's just kind of them to distract him so they can pull up a bigger heist downtown. And Kate Winslet is almost unrecognizable in this role. And Gal Gadot is even in it, so Wonder Woman. So I mean, this cast is just stacked. Chiwetel Ejiofor is in it. So a gritty cop movie, and it comes out in like February. So we're getting into these movies real fast. So I cannot wait to see this one. And number 12 is another movie that comes out in February, Deadpool. I've been excited and looking forward to this movie for a while, but nothing really interests me because I didn't know the character a whole lot. And then suddenly the marketing kicked in that first trailer. I mean, everything, even to the announcement this movie would be rated R, was just hilarious. And I cannot wait to see the humor that Ryan Reynolds brings to this, because this is truly a passion project for him. Ever since he and a lot of us felt they messed up Deadpool in the X-Men Origins movie, he's been just chomping at the bit to get another chance. And they're just going full out. Fox has given him the reins, full hard R, and everything they have done has been perfect. I mean, the marketing alone has been a genius movie, and the movie hasn't even come out yet. And the fact that it's a smaller budget, or reportedly around $40 million, tells you a lot, because normally smaller budget movies, not always, and there's plenty of big action blockbuster movies that have great characters too, but these smaller movies lend for better character development. And Deadpool's such an interesting character that I think this is just going to be a fantastic mix. And sometimes those lower budgets create almost creativity where they have to become more original and they have to find ways to get around doing things when they don't have these budgets. So Deadpool really could be something special. And I'm almost thinking this thing is going to make like 70, 80 million dollars opening weekend. And if it hit 100, I wouldn't almost be really all that surprised. All right, and moving on to number 11, The Girl on the Train. Based on the best-selling book, I believe it's a best-selling book, but it's based on the book nonetheless. The Girl on the Train is kind of a movie surrounding some mystery. Like, I don't really know what the plot is. My mom's reading the book right now, but I believe it's like a girl that's kind of moved out of her way, trying to refigure out her life, and she takes the same train every morning, and she starts to almost get to know this couple she passes on the train that like is eating breakfast on their porch or something along the lines, and then something happens to them, and she gets pulled into the whole mess. It's like a murder mystery thriller. I can't really tell, but the movie stars Emily Blunt and Rebecca Ferguson. Rebecca Ferguson being the main female lead in the Mission Impossible Rogue Nation this past summer, who just blew I think most of us away. So those two leads right there, just give me a lot of excitement because they can kill it, and it's being directed by Tate Taylor, who directed Get On Up and The Help. So he's got an impressive resume as well. So I'm really excited to see this and his take on this sort of a thriller, and I don't know much about it, so that's one of the reasons I'm so looking forward to it, because there's so much mystery surrounding it. And coming in next at number 10, actually opens the same weekend as The Girl on the Train, is The Accountant. The Accountant is kind of like another thriller where a guy figures out that maybe a business isn't doing things so well. It's something along those lines. Some illegal financial stuff is going on. Ben Affleck is in it, J.K. Simmons, John Bernthal, so a great cast, and it's being directed by Gavin O'Connor. And I just watched his most recent movie, Warrior, just a day ago. Love that movie. The guy really knows how to put this grit into things, and so that's one reason I'm looking at The Accountant, and that's something Ben Affleck does well, is he gets involved in these kind of gritty things. You know, his career's just been on a roll of late. So The Accountant is a movie that I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see a trailer for it, get some idea of what this thing's all about. Coming in at number 9, Assassin's Creed. I know everybody thinks the video game movie franchise is something that's going to just take off and be the next comic book movie sort of thing. And as much as I think Warcraft will be successful, but I think Assassin's Creed is going to be the game that really shows us that video game movies can work. The premise is intriguing. I mean, the fact that the time period that it takes place in, and then throw in the fact that Marion Cotillard and Michael Fassbender are going to be in it. And then the director is Justin Kurzel. So those three all also starred in Macbeth this year, which I can't wait to see, but I can't find anywhere that's playing it, or can't find it online yet either. So I can't wait to see that and see what their take is on that movie, and then see what they can do with Assassin's Creed moving forward. And think about it, because Michael Fassbender is heavily in the running to win an Oscar for Best Actor for Steve Jobs this past year. So just think that Michael Fassbender, Assassin's Creed, might be the reigning Oscar-winning Best Actor in Assassin's Creed. That's just incredible. He's one of my favorite actors working right now. The guy is incredible. He can do anything. He's willing to do anything, any kind of genre of movie. So I cannot wait to see Assassin's Creed and what they can do with this movie, because it really does have an interesting premise, even though I've never even played the game. Alright, up next is number 8, The Free State of Jones. This movie is based on a true story, a small little farming piece of property down in the South, I want to say Mississippi or something, where a guy during the Civil War seceded from the South because he didn't agree with it, joined the North, even though he was in the thick of the South. He was surrounded. And this movie stars Matthew McConaughey as that main actor. So these kind of true stories, a Civil War movie, which we don't get a ton of. So I can't wait to see what they can do with this and what Matthew McConaughey, I mean, the dude has been on a roll of late. And it's being, I cannot think of the director's name, but he directed the original Hunger Games. So the guy knows how to do some pretty gritty, raw action and violence, which is what's going to be in this movie for more or less, because it's going to be a Civil War movie, and there's going to be a lot of heat and tension in this. And at number 7, the untitled but Bourne 5. I've loved every single Bourne movie. Maybe I didn't love the 4th one, but it's a good action movie. It may not be on the level of the original 3 Bournes, but it's still a great movie. And the fact that this movie brings back Matt Damon, and most importantly, really to me, Paul Greengrass, the director, who directed both Bourne 2 and 3. He even directed Captain Phillips, I believe. So, I mean, the guy is an incredible director. And Matt Damon wasn't going to come back unless Greengrass came back. So both of them, they came up with a story they both loved, and that's what brought them back. They're not just doing it for money. They're doing it because they feel they have a good story to tell, which lends me for a lot of excitement because I love these movies. It's been a while since we've really gotten a good one, and to really have Jason Bourne proper coming back to the Bourne franchise really excites me. And then throw in the fact that Tommy Lee Jones, I believe, is in it, but most importantly that Alicia Vikander is in this movie. I'm not sure how to pronounce her first name necessarily, but she is going to be a mega star coming up with Ex Machina being really her breakout role. She's in The Man from the Uncle this past summer, and currently in some theaters, which I'm hoping I can go check out, which she's getting a lot of buzz for, is The Danish Girl. I mean, this girl is going to be a star, and the fact that she's going to be in this Bourne movie gives me just another added piece of excitement for the movie. And at number 6, and this is probably going to be something that creates a little bit of a controversy, but number 6 is Captain America Civil War. I wanted to put it higher. It was so hard because there's so many other good movies that I want to see, but Captain America Civil War is at number 6, and I can't wait to see the movie. The Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel movie. It actually beats out the original Avengers for me. I mean, it was so gritty, raw. The action was intense. The fight choreography was amazing. The story, and Cap tends to be the most interesting character. I love Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. So it brought all these things together. So bring back the Russo brothers who directed The Winter Soldier for this. That first trailer really got me excited because it looks like we're returning to that world of the Winter Soldier. Then throw in all these new characters. I think Black Panther may be my new favorite Marvel character, and I've seen about 2 moving images of him so far. I mean, the suit looks incredible. Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, he is an incredible talent. And I wish I could have gotten this higher. I mean, my top 5 is so incredibly, I'm excited for. I just couldn't quite get it in there, but I can't wait to see this movie. So Captain America Civil War is my number 6. And at number 5, just ahead of it, is XMen Apocalypse. Every single thing Bryan Singer has done with the X-Men franchise has been incredible, from X-Men the original, X2, X-Men United, and then most recently Days of Future Past. And then throw Matthew Vaughn's to X-Men First Class. They're all incredible. The new cast of X-Men with Michael Fassbender as Magneto, James McAvoy as Professor X, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. The cast is just phenomenal. Michael Fassbender said, I mean, we could have an Oscar-winning actor, best actor reigning, as in the X-Men movies, as Magneto. That is incredible. McAvoy and Fassbender's performances as Professor X and Magneto, I mean, the brotherhood, the friendship, the pain they feel from each other. I mean, the raw emotion in Days of Future Past is just, I think it's my favorite cast of any of these superhero movies to date right now. I mean, these characters are so interesting. There's so much emotion to them. I can't wait to see X-Men Apocalypse because they just bring it all together. Then throw in the new cast. Can't wait to see Ty Sheridan as Cyclops because the kid is a phenomenal actor. Like I said, Mud, he was in Joe. The kid is a fantastic actor. I can't wait to see him going forward, interacting with this. And then throw in Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. Oscar Isaac, who was also in Ex Machina. He was in Drive, and most recently he was Poe Dameron in Star Wars The Force Awakens. The guy is an incredible actor. Can't see what he brings to this powerful, the first mutant. I love that line of whatever. It was like, in the trailer, they're talking about the 4 horsemen, and they're like, so we got that from the Bible. And Rose Byrne's character is like, well, maybe the Bible got it from him. It's so cool when these movies can be so intelligent and almost make you believe these alternate history lines really could have happened, and X-Men has been one of the best at doing that. So I cannot wait to see X-Men Apocalypse. Alright, number 4, Silence. This one's dated for sometime in 2016. I'm hoping it comes out in 2016 because it's Martin Scorsese's next movie. It is Martin Scorsese, one of the best directors living and maybe of just basically all time. I cannot wait to see this one with Andrew Garfield, Liam Neeson. I want to say Adam Driver's also in this one. I'm not positive, but I think he is. The cast is awesome. It's about like these Chinese monks back in like the 15th, 16th century. I don't know a ton about it because they haven't told us much. But Martin Scorsese's name is attached. Andrew Garfield's name is attached. Liam Neeson's name is attached. That right there moves it into my top 5 just automatically. All right, number 3, and this is where it's going to get real interesting, and it was a little tough, but number 3 is Star Wars Rogue One. I've always enjoyed Star Wars, been a pretty big fan, appreciated what they did for the movie industry. But then about a year when that first Star Wars trailer came out, the hype started building, and I got caught up in it because I just love being part of this movie universe. Guys like Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, John Campea over at Collider and Collider Jedi Council got caught up in this fury of Star Wars fandom, and I have just fell in love with it. I've seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens 3 times in theaters, liked it more every single time, and I liked it so much the first time. I'm not sure how that's possible. The movie is probably my favorite movie of the year. I can't, like, I got caught up in this fandom in a way I never thought I could. So suddenly I can't wait for episode 8, but that's a year and a half away. But Rogue One's only a year away. And Gareth Edwards is directing it, who directed the most recent Godzilla. So the guy knows what he's doing. And the movie is set just before episode 4, about how the Death Star plans were stolen from the Empire and how this group of rebels were able to maintain it, the bounty hunters that went through it. I mean, it sounds like a war film. That's what Gareth Edwards described it as. He says, well, it is Star Wars. So we're going to get something I don't think we've ever really seen in the Star Wars universe. Felicity Jones is in it. I want to say Mads Mikkelsen is in it. So you've got a great cast, a great director, and a great idea for a story. So although prequels haven't necessarily been in the greatest favor of Star Wars fans of late, but this prequel sounds like it could actually be something special. All right, number 2, Suicide Squad. DC has always kind of had a special place in my heart. I love Marvel, but there's something about DC characters. And Suicide Squad looks so tonally different from anything we've gotten from any comic book movie. I can't wait to see the take on the villain side, and especially basically all Batman villains, because other than Spider-Man, and I would say Batman personally, to me, has the best villains. And throwing this Jared Leto's Joker in there, I mean, I love the look. I know a lot of people were up in the air about it, and I just love everything I've seen from it. And I think in this next trailer that we're supposed to be getting in January sometime, I believe, I just can't wait to see more of these characters, what the plot really turns out to be, what Batman's role is. I'm sure it's minor, but to see DC start to finally build this universe, and it's the first movie after Batman v Superman, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they do it. Margot Robbie is such a fantastic talent. She's not only beautifully stunning, but I mean, her skills as an actress are incredible, and her Harley Quinn looks absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see her and Joker interact. And I'm even curious about Will Smith as Deadshot. The characters could be really cool to me, but Will Smith does have me a little curious. But with Concussion coming out and his performance and the raise it's getting in that, has me a lot of promise that maybe he's turning his career around and doing something different with it. So I can't wait to see him as Deadshot. So I cannot wait to see Suicide Squad. It looks so, like I said, tonally different, almost like an R rating. They said they're not going R, but I think it's going to push some boundaries. David Ayer, as a director, really knows to get performances out of his actors. He knows how to get gritty with movies like Fury. I mean, that is an underrated movie to me. The actors' performances he got out of that and this gritty realism he got out of it is something I can't wait to see him take into Suicide Squad. All right, and number 1 is probably when either half of you guys are going to stand up and cheer or you're going to want to rip my head off, but Batman v Superman is by far my number 1 most anticipated movie of next year and maybe my lifetime up to this point. Batman is my guy. He is my character. I have so much things of Batman all over my closet. I mean, I love the guy. So when this movie was announced almost, 2 years ago, I want to say, time's gone by slow, but really fast. I don't know, it's weird. I couldn't wait. Ben Affleck looks like the perfect Batman. I mean, the guy is physically imposing, 6'5". I want to say he's like at 240 right now. He's huge. The costume is so comically accurate. And I can't wait to see Batman hopefully just kick the crap out of Superman. I just can't wait. I know the most recent trailer a lot of people didn't like. I enjoyed it. I'll agree maybe the last 3 seconds didn't need to be shown. But it didn't spoil too much for me because spoilers don't affect me and I look for them. I just search the web. I mean, I've looked up news on this movie 5 times a day for the last year and a half, all behind the scenes stuff while it was shooting in Detroit, right here in my home state of Michigan. So I just cannot wait to see what they do with this DC universe. I can't wait to see Aquaman, Flash, even what Gal Gadot brings to Wonder Woman. And as much as I love Man of Steel, and I know a lot of people have problems with it, even the first time I saw it in theaters, I was like, that was okay. But the more I watched it once it came out in DVD and that, the more I appreciate it, saw what Zack Snyder was building for, and now I love the movie. So I cannot wait to see what he continues on to do with this DC EU, as I call it, with Batman v Superman. I can't wait to see this new interpretation of Batman. Even what Lex Luthor's going to do. I can't wait to see the formation of the Justice League, but most importantly, I cannot wait to see Batman hopefully kick the crap out of Superman. I just cannot wait for this movie. I went to that trailer showing of the first teaser back in April, so I get to see the movie a week early. I cannot wait to see that. I think so early in March, probably about the midway point of March, I'm going to get to see this movie. I will share my thoughts with you guys as immediately as I can. Batman v Superman is just a movie I cannot wait to see. Batman is my guy, so March cannot come fast enough, and the fact that it's only 3 months away is just crazy to me. So there you guys have it. There's my top 15 most anticipated movies of 2016. It was an incredibly hard list. I mean, I could just shift things around right now. I could just go, oh, well, maybe that would be number whatever and move this one back. So let me guys know what you think of my list. Is there anything you think should be different positions? A movie I left off? A movie I should have taken off my list because you think another movie should have been slid in there? Let me know what you think of my list. I can't wait to see all these movies, and make sure you keep checking back here in our YouTube channel because here in the next day or two, I'm going to be getting maybe hopefully a couple of friends in here. We'll do a list of ranking our the 2016 comic book movies. There's like 7 or 8 of them, so maybe we'll rank them in the order of our most anticipated or least anticipated because there are so many of them I couldn't fit them all on this list, even though I'm excited to see really basically all of them. And this will probably be about a week into January because The Revenant hasn't come out yet, and I can't wait to see that movie. But around that time, I'll probably also do with a couple of friends our top 10 movies of the year, top 10 movies of 2015. So once we see The Revenant, and hopefully it makes the list, I'm hoping it does, but we'll have to wait and see. But after that, we can hopefully make our list, share that with you guys, see what you guys thought of your top 10 movies of 2015 as we now move into 2016. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, jump in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Follow me on Twitter, us on Twitter at AC Movie Chats. And make sure you tune in with us because we've got some pretty big ideas moving forward for 2016, probably around summer when we're all out of school because most of us are college students. So hopefully we can make a bigger splash in the movie industry here shortly. But there you guys have it. This was my 2016 most anticipated movies. We'll see you guys here next time. Thanks for watching.